All right, guys. Now, this is a market that I'm predicting to crash from 2026 all the way through to 2031 before it starts to go through its recovery phase and start growing again. Now, we're talking about Beresfield up in the catchment of Newcastle to Maitland, bordering those two markets. And the reason that I'm doing this video is because I saw a buyer's agent recently promoting it as one of the top markets to be buying at the moment, assuming it's for capturing price growth over the next 5 years. And how do two buyer's agents have two opposing opinions? I'll go through the data. I'll let you choose for yourself. So typical price for this market is 876,000. The market's up 17% this year, and we've got a typical yield of 3.4%. Dwellings to population. So again, high level supply. We all know this. Population 3,200 to dwellings of 2,100. There's only about a 1.5 times. There's a ratio when you've got a typical household makeup of around 2 to 2.4 people per household. Is clear imbalance purely on the population to dwelling as it currently stands. Now, if we go through and we have a look at the long-term trends for this market, 10-year growth is 171%, which is exceptional growth, and it's actually one of the top markets for New South Wales. When you're talking about Newcastle, Maitland, all of those top markets that have grown over the past decade, that's outstanding growth. Now, if you bought during that time, potentially that suggestion of it being the best market should have been recommended 10 years ago. But we've still seen some really good growth. So as you can see, over the past 12 months, still had 17% growth during this time, which for a one-yearly figure, that's more than double the average growth rate for a market for a 12-month period. Now, as you can see with this, it does have a natural ebb and flow with this market. It does have a little bit of volatility, but there is COVID-19, which is, of course, of just an abnormal period of time. But you can see there's no pattern deviation. There's no spillover potential. Well, it is, but it's actually negative. And you can see that it actually hit its peak during 2025, and it's starting to come down as of this year, which is what I'm referring to. This market has grown so aggressively that it has to contract and go through a recovery phase over the next 2 to 3 years. Now, the reasons that I think support this, you've got 1 out of 10 socioeconomic ranking for this market, which means that a lot of people within that market who are buying the properties and driving that market can't afford or don't have the incomes to support such high price growth. Obviously, incomes translate to the available money to take out a mortgage. Rented to owner ratio is at 31%. That's what the current data stands for this market. However, I do know that every buyer's agent who specializes in granny flats has just saturated this market over the past 3 years. And they're currently building a lot of granny flats at the moment. And we'll just start to see, the percentage of renters in this market increase, and which will then translate into just a saturation of the rental market, and we'll start to see the yields compress, but also vacancy rates increase. Obviously, inventory for this market is still quite a tight market. It's trading within 19 days, so we're still going to see price growth over the next 6 months, but after that time, it's going to have to go through its contraction phase. Anyway, that's my opinion on this market. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll see you on the next episode.